So I've recently finally caught up to Jujutsu Kaisen. I finally caught up like from the manga because I read from where the anime stopped and all the way through the manga. So I caught up. So like I think it was around chapter 65-ish. I read from all the way to chapter 149, which is the newest chapter. And all I really got to say is I was expecting more than what it was. I tell you, the anime was fire. And yes, I understand why people were hyping up and saying all this type of stuff, but I was expecting more because like every day on Twitter, as like the season of Jujutsu Kaisen was airing, I kept hearing people saying more and more stuff about the anime. And even when it finished, and like even when chapters were coming out, I kept hearing people say stuff about the manga. So like I caught up and I'm like, I'm sorry, it is very overrated. Jujutsu Kaisen's manga is very overrated. Like the stuff people were telling me and the stuff I was reading online on Twitter and like the way people were reacting to different stuff, I was expecting so much going into this manga, and sadly it lived up, but it didn't live up. There's a few things that I have a problem with that I'm like, I don't know why people overhyped this when it wasn't really true. But I tell you this, that Shibuya incident, fire, bro, fire. I know that's like majority of the manga that's covered, but that's fire. Like that incident is fire. Like some of the main key characters, you know I'm talking about, are fire in it. But there's some things in there I hate because there was a certain type of thing people kept saying on Twitter. I kept seeing it come around and come around and come around, and I was like, huh. So when I was reading the manga, I was wondering like, when is this supposed to come? That people kept saying was like all this. So I was just wondering. So yeah, I'm gonna go into why, but just know I'm not gonna have no manga spoilers because I'm gonna keep it light. So there's not gonna be really no spoilers. I'm just gonna talk about characters, and like I'm not gonna try and talk about no like manga spoilers because there could be people that want to read the manga. But like I said, the anime's still great. I love the manga. All of it's great. It's just like there's a few things that I feel are overrated about the manga because of what people said. Like there's a lot. So let's get into it. I'll get into like the big thing right now. So let's talk about the female characters. So on Twitter all the time I would see people say that Jujutsu Kaisen has like the best female like anime characters like of all time written in there, because like they have these strong women and all this stuff, and like people kept saying like, oh, I'm glad to finally see a new shonen type of manga that has like a whole bunch of women that are just like powerful and all this, and like they've been saying all this. So like I'm reading it and I'm like, where are these powerful women that everybody is always amping about? Because if we go to, because this is not really spoilers because it doesn't, because you don't know who I'm talking about. If we go to the Shibuya incident, there's only like 3 or 4 girls that survive and everybody else gets washed. So I'm wondering like, where are these strong women that everybody kept saying? Like they kept saying like they were saying like out of everything, because I mean there's like 2 anime I can think of off the top of my head. There's one called Bleach that like they have a lot of strong women that actually carry their own in the series, and then there's something like called Black Clover that has a lot of strong women in it too, and like their women in there actually carry, and they actually get better each arc and get stronger. And there's a certain character in here that everybody was hyping up that's a female who didn't look like she grew at all from the last few arcs before that. So yeah, but that was one thing, because like literally, and like 2 of the, and like the crazy thing is like, bro, even the girls that show up late in that arc, bro, they get washed. Only one of them really survives. I don't even, it's like, bro, I've never seen like so many people like hype up like powerful female characters, but then the manga you read it and they're actually not as powerful. Yes, I know the 2 that are like, there's 2 that are very strong, like they're in the top like people of the Jujutsu sorcerers. Like yes, I know those 2, like you know those 2 are strong, but then there's like, what about the other ones that you guys were hyping up? Because there's only 3 in that arc, technically 4, but one of them is a doctor and she's just not even in the fight the whole time. Then you got another one that's doing something like, I don't even want to like go into spoilers on what they're all doing, but just know, I'm just saying like people were overhyping them. Like I went in here because like I love strong female characters, so I was expecting like almost every female character in here to get some shine and all this. The way people were talking about this, like they're making it seem like there was like so many badass female characters in this show, and like everyone was written well, and like everyone wasn't like useless and trash. But I guess I should have known, because in the anime they technically show in the anime who was going to be useless, because like I could tell in the anime, I was like, oh, they're probably gonna be useless in other arcs, and I was right. I'm talking about half of them Kaido school, not Kaido, what are they, what is the other school, whatever the other Jutsu school is, I forgot exactly what that one was called. Was it Kaido, not Kaido, is it Hokkaido? I don't remember. Whatever that other one was, whatever that school, just know I was thinking about them a lot and other ones, and I was like, wow, I was very disappointed. And let's get to the one girl I'm very disappointed because she was getting comparison to one of my favorite characters of all time. Like, especially like when the anime first got announced, like people kept telling me, and like I was seeing all over Twitter, people were saying like how this character is a badass, and like they compared it. So they kept comparing her to my favorite character of all time, which is Revi from Black Lagoon. They kept comparing Kusaki. Yes, they kept comparing her. So like I had like high hopes going into the manga because like in the anime we had some bits and pieces at the beginning. I saw she had that one little fight, and then like the school like tournament little event thing, she had a little bit of badass moments in that, and then at the end of the anime we had that moment. But then I read the rest of the manga and I'm like, I'm wondering this whole time, I'm like, where's it at? Because I mean, like, to be compared to Revi, who's like one of the most badass like anime women of all time, and like is somebody that's like on sites always about to pop somebody and don't care, and she's about it no matter who the enemy is. I was like her to get comparison to her, I was like, she got to be a badass. I was very disappointed, especially in the Shibuya incident. Especially the first time you see in the Shibuya incident who she fights and how she takes it. Spoilers, and how she takes an L to somebody she should not be taking the L of. Yes, she does do something later in that arc that like makes up for that, but it was just like, come on, man. I was like, where's the growth at? That was the one thing I was very disappointed about, because I was wondering like, where's the growth at? Because I feel like she should have been a little bit stronger, just show, because everybody else in that arc, especially their other companions, like they actually show that they've grown, and I'm like, where's she growing at if she's losing to a scrub? In my opinion, because Cuz was a scrub, because I mean he gets what he gets, because Cuz was, yeah, I hated that Cuz was still alive. I'm happy I'm not gonna say who he was, but just know I'm glad what happened to him. But yeah, I was very disappointed. Like I was expecting her to be like a crazy badass and like something crazy out of this world. Like I was hoping, like, because like they were comparing her to Revi. I remember everybody saying that. They saying like she's one of them people that's on site, she being ass and like on that, and then like it wasn't. I was very disappointed, like very, and I'm like, wow. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm not going to spoil her. Maybe she might do something else later in the manga, but I'm not about to spoil where she's at right now, because if I say where she's at, that would be a big spoiler. But hopefully she does something later in the manga, but I don't know. But that was one thing that really I was disappointed about, and I was big mad, because I was like, wow, I was expecting her to be like some crazy badass. But I mean, that's just me being mad, because like I said, one of my favorite characters is Revi, and I had way too high expectations because of what everybody was saying. So that's one of the things I want to say is like, we overhype a lot of anime, especially if it's a new shonen title and it gets an anime, and like people overhype the manga and then you finally read it. Like that's happened a few times, kind of Demon Slayer, but Demon Slayer did carry up until towards the end. So kind of like that. It's just like we overhype too much manga. It seems like people just need to tell it how it really is, bro, instead of just like, they always do this. It seems like every time, like every season, they always do this with every character. Because like, bro, I was expecting all these female characters to be like more badass than like all the male characters, and it's like, yes, there's a few that are, but then that Shibuya incident shows that they not as strong as that. And I'm like, I'm reading this, when I read Black Clover, I see all this growth from all these characters, and I'm like, And another thing is, people were talking about how Jujutsu Kaisen had like some of the best written characters ever and all this, and they were saying like all this wild stuff. I kept hearing all this wild stuff on Twitter, just saying like how their characters so like written so amazingly, it's the best shonen out right now. And I'm like, is it really? Because I just read a Black Clover chapter where they had somebody, I'm not gonna spoil what it is, they had somebody that's a scrub in the Black Bulls do something big, and I mean he did something big and he took out a big enemy, and I'm like, I don't see Jujutsu Kaisen doing that with one of their weakest characters. So I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's only 149 chapters out. I mean, it's probably 100. Yes, 150, because the new chapters should be out coming soon or whatever. But yeah, I was very disappointed at that. But besides those little nitpicks, those are like me being nitpicky about it. But I still feel like it is kind of overrated, mainly because it's like we're overrating it than what it actually is. And another thing is that artwork, I'm sorry, the anime is better. I'm sorry, the anime, oh my gosh, the anime is better. Hey, Mappa was in their bag, because that artwork, I can just know that artwork is that, like, I see that and I'm like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, this is yeah, that was one thing I looked at and I'm like, But yeah, hey, the manga's still fire. I'm really enjoying it. Especially there is somebody that's getting that's got a power up now, and she about to be cold. I'm not gonna say who it is, but she getting a power up now, and I was like, oh yeah. But I tell you this, like the manga is fire. It's just I feel like it is overrated, because like people just be hyping up way too much, and like they're hyping up the wrong stuff. Like if they want to hype up an art, then they can hype up an art, but people are just hyping up everything about it without no context and just saying stuff. Like that was the one thing I was really upset about. Like the female characters, I was expecting the female characters to be crazy, and I was honestly expecting the manga to be more crazier than it actually was. Because I mean, like I said, the Shibuya incident was fire, and getting a whole bunch of backstory was good for the story and learning and stuff, but I just feel like people were overhyping it way too much, and I was just kind of like disappointed in it because like how much people were overhyping it. But like I said, the manga, the anime still fire. I still enjoy it. It's gonna be it's a nice read now that finally that I caught up and I'm enjoying it, but I'm still disappointed, man. I was expecting more because what people were saying, but everybody else in the manga is straight. Do I really have, I don't think I really have that much of a problem with the story, because the story isn't bad, especially because we're getting more people now and you're learning more stuff about the world and all that, and getting more characters. So like, it has promise. There's only 150 chapters ish, because I think chapter 150 is out or whatever, but it should be fire. I'm hoping it is, but we'll see. But like I said, it is kind of overrated, because like we overrate everything. Like we do, like way too much. People do, like anytime something gets a new anime season or something happens, they overrate it. Like no, like put some context to something, that people don't be disappointed like me, because I was very disappointed. I wanted some strong ass female characters. But yeah, everything else in the manga is fire. I enjoy it. Hey, just know, if y'all want to get into the manga, read it. I recommend the manga. Read it, bro, because that Shibuya incident is fire, bro. I know I saw some people trying to say like Shibuya incident was like one of the greatest things that's happened in like Shonen Jump in a long time, and I'm like, oh really? I mean, there's other arcs I've read in Shonen Jump that's better than that one, because that one could have been handled a little bit better. There's a few things in that Shibuya incident that I do have a problem with, because like story written wise, there's some stuff I just want to like think like, where were, like, a lot of people should have been there earlier than what they were, and a lot of other stuff should have happened. But and there's also like, I think the reason why that incident happened the way it is because I have a theory about like somebody in the higher ups were the reason why that happened. Like there's a lot of stuff I have theories for that, because like, I mean, it's kind of there that you can tell like, why were these few people there, and it could have been more. But yeah, just know that incident's crazy. But yeah, the Jujutsu Kaisen manga is crazy. Like I said, it still is overrated because people have overrated a lot of different aspects to it. It's not really, in my opinion, it's not even the best thing in Shonen Jump right now. I'll say, in my opinion, I'll say like out of battle, I guess because it's a battle shonen, I would honestly say Black Clover still is the best. Like y'all can be mad, everybody likes Jujutsu Kaisen be mad, but I mean, like I said, Black Clover is doing stuff that other ones are not. If you're bringing a character that was a scrub, I'm not gonna say who it was because I don't want to spoil it, but they're literally bringing characters that are scrubs in the series so far and bringing them back to actually do something. Most shonen don't do that. You didn't see that happen in Naruto. You didn't see it happen in Dragon Ball Z, stuff like that. Like you didn't see that happen in Hunter x Hunter. Like none of them big ones like that. You never saw them just bring back a scrub. That, I mean, was like a scrub that's like basically was irrelevant to the story at this point because of like how powerful other people got. But they brought him back to actually take a dub. Jujutsu Kaisen right now is not doing that because the character growth, in my opinion, hasn't been that well. Because like I was saying with Kazusaki, with her, she should have had more growth than what she had, in my opinion. And that was one of the problems I had with the start of the Shibuya arc, because she didn't really have the growth she should have. And that was one reason why I was like, why were y'all comparing her to Revi if she not really about it like that? Because yeah, she has some badass moments, but she didn't have no Revi badass moments that just mean like she going in there to beat anybody ass. I didn't see nothing like that from her. But yeah, there's some problems I still have it. But I mean, like I said, Jujutsu Kaisen still fire. But yeah, I think it's the second best like battle shonen out right now. Even though technically you could say that War arc in My Hero is nuts. So, and there's still One Piece. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, we overrate. Because I mean, hey, Wano is nice. Wano is nice. Yes, Jujutsu Kaisen's fire and all that, but yes, we do overrate Jujutsu Kaisen a lot. Because I mean, you still have those three that are still putting out bangers, and there's other shonens that are out there decent too. But I mean, Jujutsu Kaisen is nice. It's just, I don't know if it's better than Black Clover and My Hero and even One Piece right now, because all three of those are literally in their like big arcs right now, and like. And Wano is better than the Shibuya incident. I'm sorry, it is. Wano is nuts. It really is. Wano is very nuts. The My Hero, I could put it over My Hero because I feel a certain way about My Hero at times, but My Hero isn't that bad. But Jujutsu Kaisen is still fire. It's still one of the top ones. It's just like I said, Black Clover right now is doing stuff that actually no other shonen really be doing like that. Especially when you bring a character that was a scrub and bring him back to put him up against one of the most powerful characters that he's taking dubs. Yeah. You don't sleep on Black Clover. But yeah, before you just know Jujutsu Kaisen still fire, but don't sleep on Black Clover. But yeah, hey, those are the problems and the reasons why I thought that Jujutsu Kaisen was overrated. It was mainly because like people were overhyping the female characters and overhyping a few things, and especially like the character growth. They were overhyping that too. There was just some things that people just were overhyping on Twitter. This is why you don't read stuff on Twitter, because people overhype a lot of stuff on Twitter. But yeah, hey, let me know if you're upset about this. Let me know in the comments. If you enjoy, you can like, you can dislike if you didn't enjoy, you can subscribe if you really enjoyed. Check out some of my other videos. yeah, let me know if you've read the manga and what you think about it. The anime, like I said, is fire, and the anime animation is so good, and like it like makes the manga look like shit. I'm sorry, the manga artwork looks like shit compared to the anime, in my opinion. It really does. But yeah, I'm probably gonna get a whole bunch of hate because there's gonna be a whole bunch of Jujutsu Kaisen fanboys, especially since I was talking about Black Clover, because you know people hate on Black Clover a lot, but whatever. But hey, if you enjoyed, thank you for watching. Hey, I'll see you guys in the next video. But yeah, bye. Thank you again. Bye.